Okay, today we're gonna try thinking about the things that we draw as a group of shapes. And we're gonna work on something kind of simple and symbolic. It's the symbol of St. John. Some people even think of it as the symbol of Portland. We're gonna look at the St. John's Bridge and think about breaking it into shapes before we draw it. It's always best if you can take a look at it and study it with your eyes, even just look at it. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what shapes we can see. I can see kind of this curvy arc triangle with a point, and then there's three more. The middle one's a little taller. There's a triangle up top there, and it's got these long pointy spires at the top, long sides. So let's think about that shape. We got curvy triangle, curvy triangle, curvy triangle, curvy triangle, pointy triangle, spike, spike. That's pretty simple. So if you think about it as shapes, it can be a lot easier to put together. All right, let's open up our sketchbooks, and we're gonna be thinking about the things we're drawing as a group of shapes. So let's start off with a fresh paper, and let's actually split this into 4 parts. Just draw a line down the middle, line across. Doesn't matter if it's perfect because it's our sketchbook. We're just sketching, but I want to think about what we just looked at, St. John's Bridge, the shapes that we saw. And I remember a lot of kind of triangle looking type shapes. So we're gonna think about those triangles. And it might look a little funky at first, but it'll help us put the pieces in the right place before we jump in. So I'm gonna think about the main thing that I noticed was the big arc is kind of like a big triangle. So I'm gonna just put that right in the middle. Then there was a little triangle, a little arc, which I'm gonna think about as a triangle, another triangle there. And then there were some smaller triangles off to the side, so we can start thinking about that. And right above it, the outside shape of the bridge was also a triangle, but I'm not gonna finish that triangle, I'm just gonna do that part. And then the sides, the big spires there, and we can just connect them. So we can think about it in a really basic form as that. It's a bunch of triangles. Triangle up here, triangle there, triangle there. There's 1, 2, 3 triangles there. There's another triangle there. We can think about this really complex and cool looking thing as just a group of really basic shapes. Now, if we want to start getting more detailed, we want it to look a little more like the actual bridge, we can start thinking about the shapes not as triangles. We can draw a light triangle. We can start curving it, make it look more like an arc. We got an arch here, and then there was a little guy up here. And I'm doing the same process I did with these triangles, but now I'm curving them to kind of think about, you can always go back, draw on top, think about the shapes and how they fit. And this triangle up here was actually a little curved, so I'm gonna sketch in really lightly, but I can always go back and erase or color over it or whatever. I'm gonna curve it down like that. And then we can draw those sides of the bridge, and then those spires that are there. And then you can really start thinking, okay, yeah, this is what the bridge looks like. I want to put some details in. There's all those like metal work details inside here. You could spend a lot of time. You can make up your own designs. I don't know. It's your drawing. So let's do that a couple more times to really get the feel for the shape of this object that we're drawing here. So I'm just gonna try just going for it here and see how my hand remembers the shapes and how my brain thinks about it, and see how I do. Just sketching it out, seeing how I feel about it, mostly just testing myself to see what I remember of how it fits together. You're not gonna get it right the first time. You gotta try. And those spires, they actually have little shapes of their own. They kind of point out here, so I could play around with that. It's up to you, how abstract you want to be, how not abstract you want to be. Just kind of thinking about, when we're putting stuff on the paper, what shapes am I using? What is my intention here? Do I want it to look exactly right, or do I want it to be more stylized? Just thinking about it as a group of shapes. You can add more and more shapes to make it more detailed. I started adding in like diamonds and little triangles to turn those spires. All right, one more time. let's be very careful about this. Let's block it out. Really, I'm really going for like, I want it to look just like the bridge. So I'm gonna kind of think of that shape there. Maybe come up like that. Uh-oh, we have an invader. Oh! All right, coming up like that. Getting those spires in there. The spires have a little bit of curve to them, actually. Gonna try and get that in there. And then get those arcs. I think the arc, they're actually pretty big. I drew them a little small on those top ones because I was going for my memory here. And then something like that. So I'm sure you've seen the bridge design stylized on stickers and shirts and whatever, even our school logo for the PTA. So there's lots of different ways of interpreting it because that is the job of the artist here. That is you. So try that, 1, 2, 3, 4, different approaches. Maybe just do the same thing over and over again, but be thinking about what we're drawing as a group of shapes and how those shapes fit together. And getting those individual shapes right will help you find the whole thing. That is our plan.